Hello everybody, welcome to this edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner. As we talk about anything and everything that is geek, whether it be TV, comics, movies, or video game. And this week we're concluding our Godzilla month with a look at the cultural impact of Godzilla on pop culture and society in general. And I keep reiterating over and over again. 60 years of Godzilla. I can hardly believe. I remember just yesterday when they were commemorating 50 years of Godzilla. And now here it is, 60 years. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just amazing. I mean, there's very few character franchises that have stuck around that long, particularly movies. I mean, when's the last time, the last time they had a King Kong movie was back in, it's been almost 10 years since they last had a King Kong movie out. And Godzilla, it's been 10 years since the last Godzilla, but Godzilla's had so many more films than King Kong ever did. I mean, while King Kong was probably the first giant monster, Godzilla is the first one to popularize giant monsters. He's the first one to popularize it. I mean, before that you had maybe King Kong, you had King Kong, you had the movie that inspired Godzilla, The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, which is about a giant dinosaur that is awakened by a nuclear bomb. Sound familiar? They said that movie alone was the direct inspiration for Godzilla, so really if it weren't for that, you wouldn't even have Godzilla. But if it weren't for Godzilla, the whole genre of giant radioactive monster movies would never have existed. If it weren't for Godzilla, they wouldn't have made Cloverfield back in 2008. And by the way, they're still working on a sequel too. I can't wait to see a sequel to that. But I said, but no monster movie you can say has lasted 50 much less 60 years. I mean, the only characters I know of that ain't monster based that have lasted long are Superman and Batman, who have both equally lasted 75 years. Of course, this year, Superman's 76th anniversary. But like I said, 50 years, 60 years, 60 years of Godzilla. I mean, I say that he has made a tremendous impact on pop culture and everything. I mean, music. There's Godzilla songs. There are just so many Godzilla-inspired songs. I was just reading on Wikipedia today about how many, in preparation for the show, how many shows have used Godzilla's roar, distinct roar, for giant dinosaurs, for monsters, for basically, like I said, if it's like a big monster or dinosaurian type monster, or dinosaurs period, that's what they use. Simpsons, anybody, they have a bunch of people. A bunch of shows have done it. And they've talked about how many shows that have had him in, more as a parody, but have actually had him in the show, like I said, South Park had a featured appearance of a statue of Godzilla. Godzilla actually appeared in an episode of The Simpsons where they were coming back home from Japan. He grabbed the plane and was shaking it violently. It was just, and it was Godzilla, not the American version. That was way before the American version. Everybody, I said they had Godzilla attack the airplane, and I said, and there's been so many. There's been so many mentions of him, parodies of him, and everything. There have even been knockoffs of him, and I even made a list of a few of those knockoffs. And this ain't exactly a top 5. It's just 5 particularly interesting parodies of Godzilla. And then first of all is the one I've got on my. And the first one is the one I've got on my shirt here. This is my wife's shirt, but I liked it I liked it a lot myself. Is Reptar, and you can obviously see this is Godzilla. It kind of like it's supposed to be just an ordinary Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's an ordinary dinosaur with no particular fire breath or anything. But I said, but you can obviously see this is Godzilla. 100% this is Godzilla. There's no way around it. They just may not make him exactly like him by making just an ordinary green dinosaur. But you can plainly see that this is Godzilla. And second one is Pink, and the show, an old show Pinky and the Brain. They had a parody episode of Godzilla where they had a parody episode where they're in Japan and they're ransacked by a monster called Gollyzilla. As you know, folks, I said they just took the God out of the name and put Golly in there instead as Gollyzilla. But you can see it's a parody, and then another version of Godzilla because he breathes fire, he trashes the city and everything. But once again, he thinks he using it, creating a fake Gollyzilla attack to try to take over the world, try to save everything and make everybody making their leader. Then the real Godzilla shows up and basically ruins the plan and everything, and hilarity ensues. I mean, it was hilarious. I loved that episode. And recently, and third one, recently we got we like watching a lot of old vintage cartoon, vintage as in the 80s. A lot of old classic cartoons from when we were kids. And we recently got the second season of DuckTales on DVD. And there was an episode where they go into an undersea city about like Atlantis, and there they have a monster. It's kind of like their enforcer, their attack dog. They call Globzilla. That's right, Globzilla. And you look at him, and when I first saw it, I said that looks just like Godzilla. So enough, his name's Globzilla. If you look at him when they show him in the whole shot, he looks like Biollante a lot. He looks like Godzilla. He's more Godzilla-esque than Biollante, but he's got tentacles just like Biollante, and his whole bottom half of his body. He looks kind of like a Biollante figure I saw one time, but he looks like Godzilla only with tentacles, and he doesn't breathe fire either. He doesn't breathe fire, and he didn't have the distinct roar. But I said he looks exactly like Godzilla, only with tentacles. And I thought that was really interesting. And another one I ran across on Wikipedia also earlier today when I was reading up prepping for the show. There was an episode of Tom and Jerry where they accidentally awakened a Godzilla-like creature. Though I didn't see the actual picture of him. I just take their word for it. So he looked like Godzilla. It was a Godzilla-like creature. And I also read in Pokemon, they had a Pokemon there called Tyranitar, and they said it looks exactly like Godzilla. They say it is essentially it is Godzilla. Almost essentially it is Godzilla. And I just thought it was interesting. I wondered what. I thought that was interesting. I didn't ever find a picture of them. I would have showed them to you had I found the pictures in time. I saw a lot of pictures in time, but I said I just couldn't ever find them. I was kind of hurt. I was kind of rushing for show prep, but I just couldn't ever find the picture. I was hoping for a link on Wikipedia of some of the pictures. I could never find them. I unfortunately just could never find them. And I just thought those were some of the more interesting parodies of Godzilla, and also the fact he ain't just been parodied a lot over the years. He's been I almost forgot one. On Power Rangers, the Dragon Zord, Green Ranger's Dragon Zord. It looks exactly like a cross between Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. I mean, for goodness sake, even in the first episode of his first appearance on Power Rangers, he even acts like Godzilla, trashing the city and causing all grades of destruction and everything. I said, ain't it just cool to have Godzilla for a Zord? I mean, it's just awesome. And also a little tidbit in the Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers video game for Sega Genesis, when you play as Dragon Zord, I think it's a taunt move or something, he has Godzilla's roar. He roars just like Godzilla. I was like, I just sat there with mouth agape for a few minutes when I first heard it. And I just thought it was awesome. But as I was saying, there's been plenty of parodies over the years, parodies and homages to Godzilla over the years. There's been plenty of rip-offs too. I mean, there's been plenty of movies trying to capitalize on Godzilla's success over the years. I mean, there have been forerunners, but not. I mean, like even in the original Superman cartoons that were made in the '40s by the Flashers, there was one episode where there was a giant reptilian creature that looked very similar to Godzilla attacking Metropolis. But that predates Godzilla by like 10 years. And by like 10, 12 years, it predates Godzilla. By 10, 12 years. But after Godzilla was made, there was been plenty more rip-off. Plenty more trying to capitalize on that. One particular that comes to mind is Gorgo. As a monster that looks almost, that you could tell was almost like a British version of Godzilla. Essentially what they do is they capture this baby and the mama comes looking at it. And the mama's is huge Godzilla-sized creature comes looking the baby. And if you look at Godzilla, and you can definitely tell it's supposed to be the British version of Godzilla. But if you look at it, but the creature's design itself reminds you more of Titanosaurus in the face. Reminds you more of Titanosaurus, but you can definitely tell it's supposed to be like Godzilla. And I said, there's been so many rip-offs over the years, like Reptilicus, and just dozens of monsters. Like I said, if it wasn't for Godzilla being made, there wouldn't be a monster movie genre, a giant monster movie genre. There wouldn't be a Rodan, there wouldn't be a Mothra, there wouldn't be all these great movies that have been made over the years. I mean, and there wouldn't be like this whole other fabric to pop culture that encompasses giant monsters being thrown into superhero movies. Like for instance, there was an episode of Justice League that had Gamma in it. Essentially, it had a Gamma type monster in it. I mean, there's been stuff made for years that's like Godzilla. Like there was a failed show called Surface. It was essentially you started out there's these giant sightings of giant reptile-like creatures showing up, and one even referred to it as a Godzilla thing type thing. And so it's just yet another homage, rip-off, whatever you want to call it, of Godzilla. I mean, I said there will never stop being Godzilla rip-offs. I mean, hey, even on Animaniacs, they even had a Godzilla appearance one time. Right down to the Roar, Godzilla, it was Godzilla. They had Godzilla actually appear on the opening of episode of Animaniacs. And I just thought, I said, Godzilla has basically peppered not just world pop culture, mainly American pop culture. I mean, there's hardly a person that doesn't know who Godzilla is. And if you don't, go find the movie. Go ask somebody. Go online. You definitely would want to see these movies. I mean, Godzilla is, as I'm gonna say, is the coolest movie monster that's ever been invented. Cooler than any like Alien, Predator, anything like that. He's giant monster, but he's the coolest monster ever invented for cinema. I mean, he was originally made as a protest against nuclear arms testing. He was originally made as a protest against nuclear weapons. But they made a sequel. So within 1 year of that movie being such a success, they made a sequel. Godzilla Raids Again. They made a sequel like 1 year. They basically threw together a sequel, which was pretty good. And it just launched a franchise. That, like I said, has lasted 60 years. Has led to like inspired songs and movies and a whole genre of movies and video games and TV shows and comics. It has inspired just so many things. Without it would not have been there would not have been. I said it would have been like a big gaping hole in culture. I mean, I said if it weren't for Godzilla, there wouldn't be so many monsters invented that it was invented. I think. I mean, just like Superman, Godzilla has had tremendous impact on culture, and will for many, many, many more years to come. But what do y'all think? And did I miss something? Did I miss? Y'all agree? Y'all disagree? Did I miss something? Did I miss a knockoff? Did I miss a parody somewhere? Did I miss a chunk of history? Let me know. Drop me a comment in the comment box. I would love to hear what you think about this. And that's all for this edition of Mr. J's Geek Corner. I hope y'all enjoyed this Godzilla month of shows. And I hope y'all enjoyed as much as I enjoyed watching it as much as I did make it. And next week we'll be back to our regular style of shows. And until next time, like, subscribe, tell all your friends. You have any comments about the show? Drop me a comment in the comment box. If y'all have any ideas about things you want to hear me talk about on here, drop me a comment in the comment box. I would love to hear from you. I'm always looking for fresh new things and fresh new ideas for things to talk about on here and talk about on the show. I would love to hear from you, and I would love to hear your ideas, and you may never know when your idea may get made into an episode of Mr. J's Geek Corner. So just drop me your idea, drop me a comment, send me your ideas. I would love to hear from you. And I'll see y'all next time.